All right, I'm going to quickly take you through an example of how you can export your data from the Spiceworks Desktop 7.5 on-premise application out of that help desk and then into the Spiceworks Cloud Help Desk. We'll reference this article on the migration process here on the community, on the Help and Support Center. You can see the URL here is community.spiceworks.com/support. You can find this article relatively easily by just Googling for this phrase here, migrating from Desktop Help Desk to Cloud Help Desk. So let's take a look and get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to the desktop application, and you're going to enter in a kind of a special URL at the end of your URL bar here. Here we go. You can see I've already got it in place here, so you're going to go to /data_migrations/helpdesk. And when we load this page, you'll see the option to import and export, and you'll see the latest export status if you've done this previously. So to start the export, you just click the export button, and you'll see indication that you're starting the export process here. You can see a log in screen here within the web page by clicking on that View Log button that I just clicked. And you'll see the status there. Once you notice that the log indicates that the export process is completed, you can then go on to the next step. I'm going to scroll down here. So you'll notice some limitations to the export process in the documentation here. Let's scroll past here to the next step. We need to register for the Cloud Help Desk. If you already have a Cloud Help Desk account and you're already logged in, you don't need to do this step. But just in case you're watching and you haven't completed this step, this is also pretty easy. Open up a browser window and go to on.spiceworks.com, or just search for the Cloud Help Desk. And you'll be taken to a login page like this, where you can either log in if you do have an account, or if you need to create a new account, click Create Account with Spiceworks. And you'll see that you're able to log in by setting up a new account. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll create a sample account for us here. You can enter an email address and set a new password for your account. Once you've done that, you're going to be asked to set a company name and a domain. So in my case, I'm just going to set it to be the company name. This can be any text you want. You can include characters. And then for the domain, you're going to want to use something that your end users are going to be familiar with or associate with your company. So if you're Acme Inc., you might want to use something like Acme Inc. as your domain name. This one may be taken, so I'm going to append something else to the end of it there. See if we can get this one. Once you've decided on your company name and domain, click Launch Help Desk. If you're not quite sure what you want to put for these fields, you can set something now, and then I'll show you how we can change that in a few minutes if you decide to change your mind. It looks like that domain was available, so now we've been sent directly into the Cloud Help Desk. So you can see a list of your tickets here. These are just sample tickets, and we'll talk about why it's important that I mentioned that in just a second. So now you've got a Cloud Help Desk account set up, and you're ready to import your tickets from the desktop application. But before we do that, there's a couple of extra steps to take. As a part of the import process, the JSON file that you export from your desktop application is going to include two important things: your custom attributes and your admin or tech users. Custom attributes are exported into the JSON file that the desktop application creates when you do the export, which means we're able to process and properly handle those and create them for you automatically as a part of the import process into the Cloud Help Desk. The second thing to consider is your admin and tech users. When you export your data from the desktop application, the JSON file will include your admin and technician users. It's important to note that once you take that JSON file and have imported it, those admins and techs are going to be created in the Cloud Help Desk, but they will not be sent login information. So they're not going to get a link that tells them that they've been added to your Cloud Help Desk and can share tickets with you. So typically we recommend that before you complete the import process into the Cloud Help Desk, that you first go into the settings area of the Cloud Help Desk, which I can show you here. Right after completing registration, you just go to the top right here to where it says settings and click there. And then you can go to the Employee Administration tab. That's where you can add new users, specifically admins and techs. So we recommend that you first add your colleagues here, whether they're admins or techs. And when you click the Add Employee button, the email address of your technician will automatically be sent an invite link. This ensures two things. Your administrators and techs are added to the Cloud Help Desk appropriately, but it also validates that each of those new administrators or techs can be added properly to your Cloud Help Desk account. And that's important because in some cases, others in your organization may have already explored the Cloud Help Desk as an option and may have tested out creating an account using their email address. There's a restriction in the Cloud Help Desk that you can't have multiple accounts related to the same email address. And so we'll have to resolve that beforehand and remove your colleagues' other accounts or merge them together so that you can all share a single account and a single ticket list. If you're not worried about that, or you're okay with trying to resolve that after the fact, then you don't have to do any of this, and instead you can just complete the import process by importing the JSON file without worrying about the Employee Administration tab. But if you do take a look here, this allows you to kind of validate and ensure that everybody in your team has been properly added beforehand, and that simplifies the import process. So we've taken care of custom attributes and employee administration. Let's take a look at one more important thing. This can be a little bit confusing, but I'll walk you through it. Think for a second about your desktop application. You've built up a number of tickets over weeks or months or years in your desktop application, and your ticket ID is currently set to the largest or the last ticket that was created. So for example, say yesterday, the last ticket you had opened was ticket number 2904. Well, the next ticket to be created is going to be 2905. Maybe that was created overnight. Maybe that was created just a few minutes ago. Or maybe that's going to be the next ticket that gets created when you open a ticket or when one of your end users emails in the future. So regardless of the case there, the next ticket identifier is 2905. On the Cloud Help Desk, the next ticket to be created will be ticket number 3. So maybe you can see where I'm going with this, but you've got a discrepancy between the two help desks at this point. You're going to export data from your desktop app, which indicates that the next ticket to be created is 2905. And on your Cloud Help Desk, the next ticket to be created is going to be ticket number 3. If you import your tickets into the Cloud Help Desk, those ticket numbers can change unless we take an extra step to clear out or remove any tickets in your help desk on the Cloud Help Desk side. So let's go take a look at that real quick. It'll make more sense, I think, as you see it. So you can see if I click over into the tickets interface, I've got 2 tickets here. It's very easy for me to get rid of these 2 tickets by just clicking the More link and clicking Delete. Or if I have a larger number of tickets, maybe more than just a couple, because I've been using and testing with the Cloud Help Desk a little bit, I can come here and enter the range of tickets that I want to remove. This ensures that this organization that I've created within the Cloud Help Desk is effectively emptied out. So this entire number is just going to be whatever the last ticket is in your Cloud Help Desk at this point. For us, we know it's 2, so let's just delete tickets 1 and 2. By doing this, we ensure that the Cloud Help Desk account is empty, and so when we do the import process from the desktop application, all the tickets are going to share the same ticket number, and I'll show you how to do that. So let's delete those tickets, and while that's happening in the background, let's go on to the next step. So now we're at the last step here, actually importing your data from your desktop application into the Cloud Help Desk. You've created your export file. Well, let's go take a look at where to get that. We'll go to the install directory for Spiceworks. And once here, you're going to go to Data and Exports. And there's our JSON file. So we can go back to the Cloud Help Desk, go to our organization, go to Import Export Tickets, click Choose File to upload. Let's copy this directory. So we can go straight here. select the file, click open, and you'll see it upload. Now my upload file was relatively small at 17K, so if your file is many megabytes or even hundreds of megabytes, it may take slightly longer to upload, and you'll see a progress indication as you wait there. Once you reach this state, that means that the Cloud Help Desk has successfully received the upload of the file, but has not yet started processing the file for import, because you have one more decision to make: whether or not you want to keep the same ticket numbers when importing. This is the topic that we were just discussing a second ago. So because I've cleared out those extra test tickets that we had in place, tickets 1 and 2, I can select this box to keep the same ticket numbers when importing, and that ensures that all of the ticket identifiers that are in this JSON file will be imported, and they'll keep the same ticket identifiers once they've been created in the Cloud Help Desk. The result of that being, say in a month from now, you go check your email and you're trying to recall, what was that issue I was working through with Mark? Well, if you find that Mark's last ticket was ticket number 2003, you'll be able to go to your Cloud Help Desk, and ticket number 2003 will be the same ticket that you had in your desktop application. So it's easy to reference the same ticket identifiers, especially as you're researching things in the future. The same is true for tickets that are currently work in progress. Maybe this week you started work on ticket 2900. Well, ticket 2900 is going to be the same ticket in your Cloud Help Desk as it was in the desktop application at the time that you ran the export. Great, so now that we understand better what the keep the same ticket numbers when importing checkbox does, we're going to check that in this case because we do want to have that simplicity of keeping the ticket numbers matched up. I'm going to click Continue Import, and you'll see that the import has been initiated. You'll note that we have a warning here that sometimes imports can take quite a while depending on the size of the import and how many other people may be importing at the same time, because there's shared resources involved in completing the import process. And also take note that you'll want to invite everyone to your account, whether you've completed that in the past before you did the import, or you're going to wait for the import to complete and then invite them afterwards. It's an important part of getting your colleagues added to the Cloud Help Desk so that they can work tickets together with you. There's a link here for the employee administration settings, and it's also in this top left part of the nav as well. You can see while we were talking that the last import that we just started completed after just about a minute. If you have a longer running import that maybe has more tickets that you need to import, you can keep track of the progress by clicking the import log link, and you'll notice it's sort of similar to what we saw on the desktop side, where you can track the progress of the import. You can see it's tracking the completion, the number of tickets, how many administrators were created as a part of the import process, and then close to the end, you'll see the end import marker. That indicates that the import process completed. So we can close this window, and if we click back over into the tickets interface, we should see the list of tickets. There we go. My tickets were successfully imported. So that took us through the process of uploading the file, selecting the option on whether or not to keep the same tickets, starting the import, and we talked about how to invite your admins via the Employee Administration tab. Now let's talk about one more, perhaps slightly advanced part of the import process. So let's say, rather than this being your sort of final cutover to the Cloud Help Desk, and you're ready to shut down the desktop application, perhaps you were testing. You just wanted to try it out and see, how is the import process going to go for me? Because you're going to continue to operate on the desktop application until you find a more comfortable time to complete your migration to the Cloud Help Desk. So we kind of refer to this as a phased migration, a process of testing it out maybe once or multiple times before you actually do the hard cutover and begin operating fully, and your team begins operating fully out of the Cloud Help Desk. So in that case, you can delete and recreate your Cloud Help Desk organization and import your tickets again in the future. And I'll show you how to do that now. It's relatively easy. Go to the settings of the Cloud Help Desk, click on your organization, and you'll see a delete organization button. Now note, obviously this is a very destructive process. This is going to delete all the information regarding this organization and any tickets that are associated with this individual organization. If you have multiple organizations in the Cloud Help Desk, so for example, if you've previously used this plus icon to add additional organizations, maybe you have 2, 3, 5 organizations because you're an MSP or because you manage multiple clients, this destruction of organization is going to be limited in scope to just this organization, any of its monitors, portal configuration, ticket categories, custom attributes, or end users that are associated specifically with just this organization. So deleting an organization doesn't delete any data that's related to your other organizations on your account. Great, so let's complete this delete organization so you can see what the process looks like. It can take a while to complete, again, depending on shared resource usage. And that's going to kick off in the background and complete the deletion. So a result of this is I can kind of start over. I can start fresh with a new organization and no tickets. So let's see how to do that. Let's create another Acme Inc. org. And you can use the same name if the deletion is completed, or if you just had a test name in there, you could select a new name. However you do this, you probably want this process of creating the organization on your final run-through to actually represent your real organization name, because it's not easy to change this other than by deleting the organization and recreating it. And you're not going to want to do that once you start using the Cloud Help Desk in production or as a part of your production processes. Great, so let's create the organization again. We've done that. So my organization's been recreated, and you'll note if I click back over into tickets, that I don't have any open tickets or any tickets of any kind. So I've got a fresh new account that I can re-import into. So if we go back into settings, go back to the organization, go to import export, you'll notice that I don't have a log of any previous imports. What we're trying to do is test out the import process, test out the Cloud Help Desk, see what kind of features it has to offer, and then come back at a later time. So say 1 month has passed and you're ready to complete the import now, you can go through the same process of completing a new export by clicking the export button on your desktop application. And then you'll note that when you do that, you'll have a new file when you click to upload the exported file into the Cloud Help Desk as part of the import process. You can just identify it by the date modified. So select your new file at that point and re-upload. Do the same process of keep the same ticket numbers and click continue to import. So you can repeat this process as many times as you need to as part of your testing and validations for migrating to the Cloud Help Desk. Great, so we've completed multiple imports into the Cloud Help Desk as part of a testing process. The last phase is it's time to go live. So if your testing went well, you've decided this is the last time I need to do another import. What you're going to want to do is disable the email settings on your desktop application. So you go to settings on your desktop application. Go to Help Desk, email settings, and you can toggle off. In this case, the state's already turned off. So you want to toggle off the outgoing emails and then scroll down and toggle off the incoming emails as well. That'll stop the flow in and out of your help desk on the desktop. And then you want to forward all of your emails to your new Cloud Help Desk organization. So in our case, that's going to be help@acmeinc.test.on.spiceworks.com. And obviously you'll insert your organization name in place of your org or Acme Inc. test. And there's a helpful link here with more information on how you can forward emails properly to the Cloud Help Desk, which ensures that emails that are sent to your organization's help desk account are properly forwarded and used to create new tickets in the Cloud Help Desk, mirroring what you had set up in your desktop application. You're going to also want to send out an email to your users, perhaps from your personal address, letting them know that you've completed a migration to a new help desk application, and you want to provide them with either the portal URL for your new organization, which again is going to include a custom URL based on the organization name that you set. So in our case, this would be https://acmeinctest.on.spiceworks.com/portal. And that's where your users can create new tickets on the web. If you don't use the portal, you may not need to send them this notification with a new portal URL, but it's probably a good idea to notify them that you're using your new help desk application, because responses that they receive back from your help desk will change in appearance slightly. They'll notice that there's a new type of response coming back whenever they open tickets with the Cloud Help Desk by comparison to what they would have seen with the desktop application. Great, so now you've handled whether users are opening tickets via email or on the web. They'll be informed that there's a new method for doing that. And you can also finally set up a URL to redirect if you want to get a little bit more advanced. Click on this link, and that'll allow you to set up a redirect so that a familiar URL, perhaps it's support.acme.com, will redirect properly within your organization and forward the users to your Cloud Help Desk portal URL. That way they can continue to use an existing familiar URL for logging tickets that you've already trained your users to use. And that's it. You've completed the export from the desktop application. You've prepped your Cloud Help Desk by setting it up and removing tickets as needed. You've imported your tickets, which is going to include all of your ticket and user information as well as your custom attributes. You've completed maybe 1 to 2 rounds of testing to ensure that the migration is going to go smoothly and that you're ready to make the cutover. And then you've gone live by updating your users and turning off access to your desktop application via email. If you have any questions or need any help on these topics in the future, please let us know. You can reach out by going to community.spiceworks.com/support to get help, or open a support case for free by emailing support@spiceworks.com. Thanks.